What is up, boys and girls, and welcome back to the channel. So we have got a bit of work to do, so let's explain where we are within what we are doing. You'll catch the drift. So Ben's car, the purple one, basically now this car, it's nearly there, it's pretty much done. What have we done? Well, you've seen what we've done. So the bonnet is now on. Towing eye is now on. I have trimmed back the splitter underneath by putting the car on full lock, drawing around the tyre, trimming it, trimming it, sanding it. So that is nice and curved around. Bonnet's on, doors on, everything inside that is done. Fire extinguisher, all that's done. Airbox, now that one I said we need to lighten. Oh, you can't see, can you? That one. Well, that went straight on and it actually fits really well. And the throttle bodies have got basically no movement. And because I've got no direct airflow pushing them off the back, because I had an issue before with the Blue Mini, the air hitting the air filter blew the throttle bodies off the back of the engine. Not the best idea. So that's pretty good. Diffuser's on. Nice and simple. And then we'll all see it down there. But there is, well, you might just make it out. See how there's the aluminium bracket, the angle. Where's my finger? There. Well, running across the back underneath that tube, yeah, is a bit of angle, which all it does is holds the floor up. So I've drilled and tapped it, ran 2 pieces of aluminium angle, drilled and tapped, that holds that in, and then this one, there's just 2 little brackets, a little bolt, which hold it to the back of this there. And honestly, the whole back of the shell now doesn't go anywhere. It's proper solid. So that's done. That's done. Fire extinguisher's done. A few odds and sods inside are done. We've got the new grey, I think I showed you, grey mount for all the cables, all that's in. Here's the windows for the back. So I've also been working on these. That's just dust, that is. So that is the intake, right? So we've got the intake, hang on, yeah. So we've got a window, it's covered in fiberglass dust. And this is the air pipe, the intake pipe. So all you do, this is going to be Zeus fastened onto the body. I'm waiting for him to come. That is one of the last jobs we've got to do. I'm waiting for the air temperature sensor. It's got to go in the airbox. So this, I've got a spring on here. You just put that in there, hook the spring on there, and then that is going to Zeus into place. And that pipe then is solid. It cannot go. Get off me, bloody spring's got me jumper. So that cannot go anywhere. So this is going to be Zeus fastened on some way. Because this and the other side have to be removable. Not for so much splitting the body, but for checking water and checking oil, which is the other side. Right, I was just editing this video, like I'm editing it in the workshop as I've just done it. What I didn't add is these air pipes. If I pull it off, filters, they're in here and it's supported by this mesh. Yeah, this is a double layer filter. You see how it's got for bigger particles and smaller particles. So this, the mesh is in there. These bolts are still missing because I've got to take this off to put the air temperature sensor there. The air temperature sensor I've located just above the trumpets, but right in the center of the airbox, so it's not getting any differential either side. So yeah, just so I let you know, this, it is filtered. It's got proper ram air filter, and then that just pushes in there, and it's always under vacuum, isn't it? So it's never going to go anywhere. It can just push there. Then this hose just pushes on. I'm not going to use any cable tie or jubilees because it's really stiff. This is a proper double lined, fire resistant line hose. It's not going to go anywhere. So yeah, that stuff is just, remember that ages ago? Shit, the bed of porridge. This, remember? Ram air. So in there you get 2 sheets of the filter and 2 lots of the mesh. So it's just, yeah, it's just ram air stuff. Right, just thought I'd add that to the video in case anyone thought, oh, he's got no filtration. Yeah. There you go. That is just a simple press fit, 1 spring. That ain't going anywhere. So then, if you wanted to get them off, just take that off. Push it down out of the way. I put some of my chassis tags on there, look. Because you said you wanted. So, yeah, chassis tags are on. What else? To be fair, that is about it. The chain is on, new chain's on. I had to do a few adjustments, modifications to get that on. Well, now that is pretty much ready. So, what have we got to do? This is off. We need to do a touch more on this because this needs to come off the table. Because I've got a car coming in for a lot of work and a full FIA cage putting in it. So I really need my chassis table to put the body shell on. It's a mini steel body shell. So we need to do a little bit on this. And then also I've got a new lathe coming. So that one is going. So we also need to clean this up because if you look, it's just covered in shit. So I need to clean this up. The new lathe's coming, which I think the new lathe is going to have to go over there because it's much bigger than that one. So the new lathe might have to go there. Then these boxes may have to move to here. So yeah, that's a bit awkward at the minute. So we've got to do that. But with this, what I'm working on the minute is just some positionings of shocks. Now these shocks can be smaller because Tim at ProTech will make me whatever I'm looking for. So what I need to work out is definitely finish positioning these shocks. Now that is not a bad angle. If you think when the arm comes up, when the arm comes up, you need it to be compressing the shock up, not in, not out. So if that shock was straight up, imagine, when that arm's coming up, the shock is coming in as well as being compressed. So I'm trying to get it to follow the angle of trajectory, which I think's about, that is about correct. Yeah, because if I bring it in a bit more, it's going to be lifting the bottom of the shock and it's not going to be going directly up and down. I think that is about right. And we're quite lucky because this is just the bar that I use for the top of the subframes, like a bit of a strut bar. So I need to finalise that position. To finalise this position, I may have to bring the shocks down because they're fitting underneath. But ideally, I want the shocks as long as I can get them. So you can dial them in a little bit better because you're not restricted on movement, if you know what I mean. So we've got to do that. I might have to bring them down. I'll put the front end on and we'll try where they are going to sit in relation to the bonnet. Yeah. So we need to do that. We need to work out these bars here. That is the main thing I'm looking at the minute. This bar from here, where we're going to bring it up, where it's going to run through, where it's going to go to, and where this bar is going to intersect that bar. But to do that, we really need to change the engine over from the turbo engine to the radical engine. Because I also want to look if I can gain any space. Can the engine come forward a little bit more? Can the engine go down a little bit more? Because that's dry sump and it hasn't got a turbo hanging out the front of it. Weight isn't going to be an issue that way. Because my blooming is nearly 50-50. I could bring this engine forward if I need to bring it forward because it's only a light engine. I could pick that up. Do you know what I mean? It's not a light engine. If you think, yes, all that's over the front wheels, but it doesn't weigh anything compared to the rest of the car. Do you know what I mean? So, yes, if you think you're trying to pivot on the front, yeah? But you got all of this. It's not like it's a Vauxhall engine that weighs like 5 tons. Trying to, nosedive the front of the car. It doesn't weigh much. It's a bike engine. So, what I need to do first, I think, is swap the engines over. because that engine doesn't run this clutch. But I want to keep the amount of space that this one has for this clutch in case I end up running this clutch. Well, what the same as this clutch. So we've got a bit of a list of what we want to do and how we want to do it. Yeah. Probably swap the engine over. Because the other diff I'm looking at, even though they are very expensive, is not going to fit under there. Unless I cut this lower engine mount, off the engine. Now, as soon as you do that, the engine's done for in a way. It's not done for as in, it'll break the engine, but this lower casing is line bored to the top casing. So once you cut that off, these casings then become no good. You understand what I mean? And then also, I will have to make up some other form of mounting the back of the engine. Yeah, I've got the top one, but between the top one and these two, is there enough to stop this moving? Don't know. So, you know, I mean, there's so much I've got to take into account. But what I do know is the other car is basically ready to come here now. This car is nowhere near. So I need to plod on quickly to see if we can get this into some form of car. Do you know what I mean? Front end wise. Because I know where the engine's meant to be. But by the time I take that bracket off the table, I've lost all my measurements. And do you know what I mean? I've got to redo it all again. So this is just an update. And I'm literally going to crack on with the car now. Start making another video. This is just an update on where we are. That one, this should be gone next week. As soon as the Zeus fasteners come and the air temperature sensor comes, I've got to work out the bill and he can just come and collect it. And then we've got to crack on with this, and then that car's coming in. Work, work, work. Right then, thanks for watching. The other phone's gone off now, and I'll see you next one. See you later, people.